The Princess of Asturias, Leonor, touched another big milestone today when she undertook her first official solo international trip. The destination was Portugal. As the heiress to the Spanish crown, Princess Leonor departed the country with a full ceremonial farewell from the Adolfo Suárez Madrid Barajas airport. She greeted the authorities who were accompanying her on the trip, the national anthem was played, and Leonor then reviewed the troops. As the queen of the country, Leonor will one day become head of all the armed forces of the country. And she was already getting a glimpse of what it would be. To understand her role and military workings, currently Leonor is enrolled in a 3-year-long military training with all armed forces. She just finished her first year at General Military Academy last month, and next month she is heading for training with the Spanish Navy. The Royal Air Force craft used by the King and Queen was waiting for the princess to take her to Lisbon, the capital city of Portugal. Upon arrival at the Lisbon airbase in Portugal, Princess Leonor was received by the President Rebelo de Sousa himself. He was accompanied by the Spanish ambassador to Portugal and foreign minister, while Leonor was accompanied by the Minister for Foreign Affairs, the European Union and Cooperation, José Manuel Alvarez, and a few members of her parents' team to guide her during the trip. President Sousa sent an explicit invitation to Spain when Princess Leonor's first international destination was being discussed. Wearing a vibrant shade of red, a sartorial tribute to Spain, Leonor looked relaxed and comfortable on her first trip abroad. Leonor chose a Carolina Herrera suit with a white top, Livia Merke bag and pink Chihuahua pumps for the day. She paired the outfit with her mother's gold and roses needle-iron earrings and a matching ring. President Sousa's presence at the airbase and the way he guided Leonor upon arrival and his excitement showed his respect for Leonor's parents and close relationship he enjoyed with them, hence Portugal was the first destination for the princess. Princess Leonor's first official act in Lisbon was a visit to Geronimos Monastery in Bolm, the tomb of the Portuguese writer and poet, Luís Camões. Director of the monastery, Margarida Donis, and the prior of Santa Maria de Bolm, José Manuel dos Santos, received the Spanish princess of the monastery. The streets leading to the destination were decorated with both Spanish and Portuguese flags. Declared a World Heritage Site by UNESCO in 1983, the monastery is one of the must-sees in Portuguese lands, one of the most outstanding examples of Manuelite architecture in Portugal, homage to the time of the discoveries that crowned the country as a colonial empire. Manuel I ordered its construction in the 16th century to commemorate the return of Vasco da Gama of India. It has a facade of more than 300 meters long, a church and a beautiful cloister of maritime and navigation motifs, which reflect the spirit that animated his project. The Crown Princess of Spain was given a tour of the monastery and briefed about its history. 2 major exhibitions took place at the monastery during the 1990s, 4 centuries of paintings in 1992, and the exposition Leonardo da Vinci, a man at the world scale, in 1998, which included the Leicester Codex, on temporary loan from Bill Gates. During her visit, Princess Leonor toured this artistic building where several Portuguese monarchs such as Manuel I and her family, Sebastian I, Catalina of Austria or Enrique I are buried. Usually the heads of the state present a floral tribute at the monastery, so the act being part of Leonor's engagement once again reflected the strength of bilateral relationship between Portugal and Spain. After the tour, Leonor signed the guest book of honor. Next, it was time to formally meet the Portuguese president, Rebelo de Sousa, at the Palace of Bolm, the official residence of the president. Once again, the president was waiting for the princess to arrive. A formal military ceremonial welcome was awaiting for the princess, which included interpretation of national anthems of both the countries. The president and crown princess took the salute and reviewed the troops. Among the next generation of the royals who are set to be the head of the state, Leonor is the first one to undertake such a trip. Her counterpart prince/princesses in Denmark, Netherlands, or Belgium have still to begin their agendas for international visits. Leonor also happened to be the only one with a busy domestic schedule. The Spanish monarchy has gone through some troubling time in the 20th century, with 2 exiles and abolishments. Leonor's grandfather, King Juan Carlos, worked very hard to reinstate the Spanish crown in the second half of the 20th century. But his own scandals once again put the Spanish crown on the dwindling path, and then King Felipe, Leonor's father, took over in 2014. Since then, Felipe and Letizia have not put a foot wrong, and Leonor's confidence, busy schedule, and her excitement to learn more about her future role with active participations reflects the corrective measures taken by the current king and queen. Heading back to the Palace of Bolm, President Sousa, after standing for a group photograph, held a small ceremony in which he presented Princess Leonor with a special honor, the Grand Cross of the Order of Christ, which also happens to be Leonor's first foreign honor. This cross became a symbol that the Portuguese used in the sailings of the ships at the time of the discoveries, in the Portuguese Air Force and on the ships of the Navy. It is on the flag of Madeira and is one of the most prestigious institutional distinctions in the country, which is granted to recognize the services provided to the country by senior officials and officials. King Felipe received it in 1988, while Queen Letizia received the same honor in 2006. Then Leonor signed the palace's guest book of honor to mark her first visit, and then sat down for an informal discussion with the dignitaries of both the countries. President Sousa, who enjoyed a very close friendship with King Felipe, became the personal guide to the Spanish crown princess and gave her the tour of the Palace of Bolm. He showed her places of interest and explained their historical importance. King Juan V purchased the site in 1726 and rebuilt it into what we see today. Bolm Palace is a L-shaped building, with the main space located in a rectangular 3-volume space in the south facade. This front, which faces the formal gardens, presents a space of 5 bodies, flanked by wedges surmounted by pinnacles. A combination of Mannerist and Baroque styles, has a central body with floor-level arcades, over a colonnade gallery surmounted by a triangular pediment decorated in stucco. On March 10, 2006, a Ministry of Culture dispatch reclassified the palace as a national monument to include the palace, gardens, Museum of the Presidency, and other annexes. President Sousa hosted a luncheon for Princess Leonor and the guests of both the countries. Addressing the gathering, he reflected on the close relationship he shares with the Spanish royal family, the strong bilateral relationship between both the countries, and the historical connection. He also expressed his happiness over Leonor following her parents' footsteps and choosing Portugal as the first international destination for an official visit. Leonor showcased her language skills and chose to use Portuguese to address the gathering. She remarked on how her parents chose Portugal in 2014 for the first international trip after becoming the King and Queen of Spain. She thanked the president for the warm welcome and personal guidance. She said, "Thank you very much, Mr. President, for your kind words, for hospitality, and for the immense affection you are receiving me here in Lisbon, in Portugal, on my first official trip abroad. 10 years ago, this beloved country was the first destination of my parents as kings of Spain, so I cannot deny how special it is for me to be here today as well. They, who have been here on so many occasions, have spoken to me with great affection, cessation, their visits to Portugal, the affection they have received in their streets, and how you have made them always feel at home. That's how I feel today. This is a trip I was looking forward to, and that makes me very happy." Leonor raised a toast in the honor of the President Sousa, for both Spain and Portugal, and for Portuguese people. The last destination on Leonor's itinerary was the Oceanarium of Lisbon, accompanied by the president. Upon arrival, few press members asked the Spanish crown princesses about her first foreign visit and how she is feeling, to which a smiling Leonor said, "It's going very well." Inside the Oceanarium, Leonor toured the facilities with the president of the Ocean Blue Foundation, Tiago Pitta, the scientific coordinator Oceanario, Emmanuel Gonalves, and the CEO of the Oceanario, Roque de Cunha. The Lisbon Oceanarium is located in the Parque dos Nacos, which was the exhibition grounds for the Expo 98. Built by the architect Peter Chermaif, it is one of the largest indoor aquariums in Europe and is home to 16,000 specimens of more than 450 marine species spread over different spaces. The Lisbon Oceanarium is one of the few aquariums in the world to house a sunfish because of their unique and demanding requirements for care. In 2015, a temporary exhibition, Forests Underwater by Takashi Amano, opened. It is a tropical freshwater aquarium featuring a large amount of plants and is the world's largest nature aquarium at 40 meters long and 160,000 liters. Originally scheduled to be open 2 years, it still remains open today. The size of the building and the volume of the exhibits means it takes around 2 to 3 hours to cover the whole building. Leonor, who was on a tight schedule, definitely missed visiting a few of the areas of the building. They also watched 2 small videos describing the functioning of the Oceanarium and how it is working towards the preservation and protection of oceans and marine species. The trip was designed with a particular focus on the protection of the environment and the conservation of the oceans, priority themes for Portugal and Spain. To conclude the visit, Leonor and the president attended a round-table discussion with the Oceanarian authorities, marine scientists and environmentalists to discuss ocean health, policy, and support they have to protect the oceans and marine lives. A group of young kids who were visiting the Oceanarium were very excited to see the princess and president. Leonor stopped and talked to the children and the guardians. Both the president and Leonor were excited to see the young kids. Leonor stood for many photographs and selfies. She also signed a few autographs. From there, Princess of Asturias headed to the Lisbon airbase where President Marcelo Rebelo de Sousa bid her farewell and congratulated her on the big milestone and wished her best for the many more to come.